Hey guys, welcome back again from Tampa Bay. It is mid-May 2016 and it's time for another epic road trip. This time I'm going back up to basically finish the trip that I started last fall, which was interrupted by a hurricane. And I learned some important lessons on that trip. Number one, don't bother with the Autotrain, not worth it. So I'm gonna bike it up there. I'm gonna start this time just north of Atlanta in Walhalla, South Carolina. I'm going to start by doing the cool motorcycle roads down in that area, and the first one is going to be the Moonshiners run, which starts right in Walhalla and ends right at Deals Gap. Deals Gap seems to be about the epicenter of all these really cool routes and roads to take, including Tail of the Dragon, which I'll be doing at least a couple times while I'm there in the area, and the Cherohala Skyway. Everything's right around in that area, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina. And then I'm going to stay the second night right in the Deals Gap area, not in Deals Gap because I didn't get a room at the one big cool motorcycle motel there. They were sold out by the time I booked. No big deal. There are a couple other really nice local areas right around there, and I got a cool spot about 7 miles away from it. Should be absolutely beautiful from the pictures I saw, and that'll be a really nice place to camp out for the night there. Then I'm going to do the basically southern half of the Blue Ridge Parkway, which I'm really excited for. Should be another epic photo journey, and I'll probably come back with another book of photos like I did the first time. And this time I'll be ending the trip in Asheville. So instead of coming down to Asheville, I'm going up to Asheville. And I won't be seeing family because this time they happen to be right down here in my area. We just kind of flip-flopped. They're overextending their stay a little bit, so they might make it up here just when I get back. Maybe we'll do a barbecue or something. But I'm going to be checking out the Biltmore while I'm up there because I haven't had time or weather to really spend any time in Asheville other than walking around downtown for one night for dinner. So this will be a really cool trip. Going to be lots of stuff going on. I've got 3 hotel stays absolutely planned and booked, and I'll probably get one somewhere between Asheville and here in Tampa the last day just because I'll be tired. You know, I'll just grab a cheap hotel somewhere on the road down I-75. So it's going to be a really cool trip. I've got a lot of stuff to do, and I'm going to take you through how I'm packing the bike. Again, it's going to be almost identical to the way I did it the first time because that really worked out. And then we'll get on the road. Let's go. So of course the star of this trip, once again, is my 2014 Yamaha FJR 1300 with a lot of minor modifications. Really nothing major done to it. The most major thing is the aftermarket seats. Look, it doesn't matter what brand of seat you go with, or even if you need one, just make sure that you are very comfortable on your choice of bike and seat whenever you're doing a trip like this, because it makes or breaks it. I can go thousands of miles, and I know because I've done it, on this seat, and my butt is still perfectly happy. That's all that matters, you know. There are lots of different choices, lots of different looks. To me, this was my perfect combination. You can go with whatever choice you want. I did do the slipper clutch in this specifically for this trip because I wanted to do it first to make sure it worked, so I did it kind of well in advance, as early as I could. Got hundreds of miles on it. It's working absolutely beautifully. So I'm excited to have that in time for the trip. Other than that, there's not really much done to it. I'm not one that does all the lights and the radar detectors and the gadgets and the wired GPS. There's none of that on here. I have my phone that's going to go in here, and it does everything electronic that I need. That's it. So that's just me. Nothing bad about doing it any other way. Other than that, I'm going to be filling up the 2 saddlebags, and I've got my big Jivvy trunk. And I'll show you how I packed my underseat kits here. As soon as I move this out of the way. Had one person ask me, can you show the details on how you pack? He watched my what to carry on a motorcycle video, but he wasn't sure of how to pack it all. Well, there's no right or wrong way. You just stick the stuff in as it fits. Just lay it in as you need to. I've got my stock toolkit here, my multi-tool here. This is my plug-in power adapter that goes into my direct to the battery pigtail, and that goes to a cigarette lighter. So basically it gives you a much bigger fuse to use instead of plugging into this guy here, which is I want to say 3.5, 5 volts, something like that, you know, very low power-ish. Got my air compressor just for emergencies. tested it once, but it's, you know, you don't want to use these guys regularly. They just use little plastic pistons. So just an as needed kind of tool. And I've got my tire plug kit just wrapped up in a towel here, some electrical tape, some little bits and bobs. Can't remember everything in there. I don't want to take the straps off. Bungee cord, you know, that's about it. So you just put it in as it fits. Doesn't have to be super perfect or anything. Let's go ahead and take a look at how the bags are going to get packed. You know what, before I do that, I want to briefly talk about the number one thing you want to be concerned with, and that is the safety and setup of your bike. You don't want to take a long trip and not know absolutely that your bike is going to handle it. Do the regular scheduled maintenance. If you're coming up on an oil change real quick, do it a little bit in advance of your trip. I did mine when I did my clutch swap, so I know the oil is good. Make sure your tires are in good condition. I have enough tread left. It's going to be due by the time I get back. Sides are obviously great. I ride in Florida, all right? We don't have twisties. I've got just a little bit of tread left in the center. It's not quite to the wear bars yet, but like I said, it will be by the time I get back. So tires are okay, absolutely. Brakes are fine, of course. I did a full hydraulic system flush, so it's got brand new brake and clutch fluid. That's all ready to go. I use a little app called Gearhead, and that keeps track of everything on both my bikes and both the cars. You can't see that one. And it just keeps track of absolutely everything. Super easy. I definitely recommend you use something like that to keep track of stuff. Point is, make sure the bike is going to get you everywhere you want to go and back safely. Now, last time I made myself a handy dandy little list, and I've just slightly modified it as I'm going here. So this is everything you don't want to forget. I'm going to go through everything, and there's probably going to be a couple more things like you saw last night. I just thought of some other stuff specifically for this trip and its timing that I might want to be taking. So let's go through my revision 2 of what to pack on a motorcycle trip. This is what I'm taking this time. And we're going to start off with the camera so I can switch from my phone here. I'm taking solely my Panasonic GH3. And let me tell you why. Alright, so you can see everything I'm working with here. And everything is going to be packed into the 2 side cases and the trunk. Now I get a lot of comments on why don't I use a tank bag. Well, simply put, I don't like them. I think they're ugly. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it or you shouldn't use it. Shouldn't matter what I use, but I just don't find them appealing. If you need extra room on a motorcycle, you've got 3 basic choices: a trunk, a nice soft case maybe on the back seat, or a tank bag, or a combination thereof. Me riding alone, I've got more than enough room using 2 saddlebags. These are my soft cases that fit exactly in the 2 side cases, and 1 big trunk. Now the way I pack it is, everything I need while I'm on the road, I put it inside the trunk because it's super easy to hop off the bike, pop that open, get to whatever I need. I put things in my side cases that I only need when I'm done for the day. One is going to be clothes and toiletries, stuff that is only for the hotel. So I get off, I pull that out, that's the other kind of stuff. This is going to be for the bigger, bulkier stuff that I may either never need on the road, only in the hotel, or very rarely will need. Probably not at all. So, easy stuff goes in here. Now the real stuff that I'm in and out of all the time goes in this little Sony camera case here. This is where the GH3 that I'm holding is going to go into, because remember, this trip isn't just for motorcycling. And you're probably looking at this going, I know there's people out there that are going, oh, just leave all that technology at home and ride your bike. I can't stand people like that. I think they're so much better because, oh my God, they ride a certain way and you don't. And oh, they're just awesome. And oh, you use a headset on your helmet, just ride. Or oh, you use a helmet, just ride. Oh my God, give it up, people. You know what I'm talking about. I know everybody out there that makes videos, you get that too. My point is, I'm doing more than just a motorcycle trip. It's actually multiple things. I'm doing it, number 1, for a cool motorcycle ride. Number 2, to make cool videos. Number 3, for photography. I'm a photographer, so I'm having a lot of fun doing this. So I got to pack multiple different ways. Let's start off with, well, you know what? Let's get rid of the clothes first. I've got some of these really cool self-wicking shirts that I got at Walmart, and I did a video on these too. They're awesome. They're like $6 a piece. They keep me completely cool and dry. You can buy the $50, $60 quote-unquote long-distance underwear if you want to. These work. All right, I got a bunch of them. They come in different colors, and that's that. Been using them for a long time now. Socks, obviously. One pair of shorts, one normal polo shirt. That's just for chilling out if I want to do something at the end of the day at the hotel. Underwear, sweatshirt, just in case. This worked out great last time. Yes, it's the only sweatshirt I own because I live in Florida. But on chilly mornings and evenings, man, this underneath my motorcycle jacket, it was perfect. Absolutely beautiful. And of course, I'll be wearing a pair of jeans. I'll be packing sandals and shorts. So those will kind of flip-flop. Bag of toiletries, travel kit, standard stuff there. Toothbrush, toothpaste, Excedrin, just in case I get a headache. Deodorant, shaving cream, razor, daily meds. I got my cholesterol and blood sugar, and a daily multivitamin. Just make sure you take whatever you happen to need. Detergent. This worked out super well. I wear a pair of motoskivvies, which are for long distance traveling underwear, basically, and it's kind of like a combination of spandex biking shorts with, I don't know, a bigger pad. They just work, but they're $60 a pair. So what I do, instead of buying multiple pairs and packing them and taking up space, just double bag a little bit of detergent, and it worked out great. Just using the motel sinks to wash those every night. So all of that is going to go in one side case, along with my Chromebook and its charger. That'll just act as some extra padding for it, because I'll only use this for backing stuff up in the hotel, and along with that, the external drive. So let's go ahead and get rid of that stuff out of the way right now. Boom, all the clothes. Those will go in my left-hand side case, since that's the most annoying to get to. Now let's move on to some tech and start packing this big case here, and that'll leave whatever we have to put in that side case. First of all, I'm going to layer it from the bottom. I have a replacement set of rain gear. Now this stuff worked great. First of all, this is super cheap. A good set of rain gear is going to run you, at the very least, several $100s, if not $1,000. I'm not kidding. This whole set, jacket and pants, is $48. Okay, it's disposable at this price. The jacket worked absolutely flawlessly, and I still have my original jacket. But the pants, during high speed, I'm talking 80 plus, long, too long of a distance, got busted. The pants flap at the back of the calf, and they shredded. So I had to buy an extra pair of pants for it, but they only come in a kit. So I've got two jackets. I'm just leaving the whole thing in here. Hopefully I'm never going to need it. The weather forecast for this trip is perfect. So, knock on wood, this is probably just going to stay in the package. This is going to go and just kind of sit there. All right, that's my base. Boom, that's out of the way. All right, let's pack this tech up. Here's what I'm going to be using most of the time. Let me come down here. Okay, so, like I said, I'm a photographer. Now, I used to do trips and take way too much gear. But over the years, over the trips, I have learned, through experience, what exactly I end up using. You may be different, all right? Believe me, if you're going on one of your first photo trips, you're going to pack too much. I used to take full-size gear. I'd take, well, it's in the dark, a full hiking backpack, and I still have gear in there. Tons of stuff where I'd take my pro bodies, I'd take my super zoom. No, I'm just taking this GH3, which is fantastic, and the touchscreen works great with motorcycling gloves, even in the rain. So this is a great camera. Not saying it's the best camera out there, but for what I'm doing on this trip, it's awesome, and it obviously takes great video. I'm also taking my phone. This is not specifically for photos or video on this trip, but mainly navigation and just looking things up on the net when I need it. And it's going to be going inside this life-proof case, which I love and hate. I love it because it works fantastically. It's easy to use, and it does protect the phone. It stays on the bike in my RAM mount, and it's waterproof. Okay, but I hate cases. This will be the last phone that I'll probably ever have to use a case on. I only use this when it's on the motorcycle. Other than that, it's never in a case. But the iPhone 7 isn't quite out yet, and as soon as the iPhone 7 Plus is out, this is going away, and that'll be that. So I'll never need a case again, especially on a motorcycle. So those will be on the bike. I've got cable for the phone that will be going back and forth between the bike, because it is wired. I do have the charger, which I put somewhere right around here. Gonna make sure I have it. I just saw it. Okay, it is here, I swear. Here it is. So it does charge while it's on the bike. Come on, focus. You gonna focus? There we go. It does charge while it's on the bike, and at night, if I need to, I shouldn't need to, but I can plug it in while I'm charging everything at the hotel. Alright, so that's that. This is the housing that goes on my helmet, so that'll be on the helmet. Sena 20S, again, on the helmet. This GoPro is one that I've got the blackout kit for. This goes on the helmet. I've got the Sena GP10 unit, which is their Bluetooth communications to a GoPro, and it's a bridge unit, very important. I have forgotten this going out a couple times when I was starting to do videos. So that all goes on the helmet, and I've got two USB cables, one for the GP10, one for the GoPro, to charge that either on the go or in the hotel. Charger for the Chromebook, which I'm going to put in the side case where I have the Chromebook. Extra battery for this GH3. Now you might take more than two batteries, and you might take a charger. It's important to know your limits of whatever camera you're using. I know through a lot of experience with this particular camera that these batteries last forever. It is very frugal with power. I can get through a whole day of shooting 1,000 pictures or hours of video on one battery. I'm not probably going to go through one battery on this whole trip, but I'm taking another one just in case, and of course make sure they're charged. But I'm not taking the charger or its cable. There's just no need. Other than that, the last trip I ended up not even going through one battery, so there's that. Second GoPro, mainly for backup, but also to use on hat cam. I do plan on going to the Biltmore estate, so I'll be able to maybe do a cool video tour of that. I don't know. Might be some other stuff. I did end up using hat cam a couple times on the last trip, so that came in handy. I don't use this anymore. This is the GoPro remote when I do my daily vlogs. However, it did come in very handy for the trip, because what I would do, I have a spot on the bike where I can Velcro it right in front of me so I can see the blinking red light. That tells me if I'm recording or not. The main reason I don't need this anymore is because I figured out through trial and error that I was having issues with certain cards. Even though they were approved by GoPro, I was having them just randomly stop recording. So I was paranoid, and I needed to see this flashing all the time. But now that I'm only using the SanDisk Extreme Pro cards, they are absolutely bulletproof, and I've never had a problem with them. So I just hit the button on the GoPro now. However, this is still very handy for doing lots of little clips, and that's what I ended up doing last time. I would be going down the road, see something, want to talk about it, or come up to a really nice spot that I wanted to film, but I didn't want to have to guess if I'm recording or not, because I have to bend down and look in the mirror to see the GoPro itself. So I'll be using this. It will eat up a little bit of battery. However, I'm taking a whole bunch of extra batteries, and this worked out awesome. This was the best idea I had. Oh my god. Alright, so I use a combination of things here. First, this guy here, it's a 15,000 milliamp hour battery pack. Has two high output USB ports. They are both 5 volts, 2.4 amp, so they can charge anything, 2 at once, and it has a big power supply. I can recharge my phone, 2 GoPro batteries, my camera, probably something else 2 times on everything this has. It'll recharge my iPad completely 4 times. All right, tons of power left in this guy. So what I do is I have this camera bag sitting in the trunk. The main spot is just for the camera I'm holding. So it just whips in and out. I can just open it up, take the camera out, start shooting whatever I want to take a picture of real quick. In the side slot here stands this guy, and I had something else next to it. I'll figure it out as soon as I go to start using stuff. It sits in here like this. And then plugged into here, I have my multi GoPro battery charger. So as the batteries are depleting on the helmet GoPro, which is about every hour with Wi-Fi on if I'm doing a lot of recording, to be safe, you can eke out about an hour and a quarter, but it can shut off on you unexpectedly. So a little bit over an hour, you just pull over, swap your batteries. By the time you go through the next hour, the first one is just about done charging. You've got another fresh one. You just swap them out. By the time the next one rolls around, you could do continuous shooting by having the 3 batteries in rotation. So that just works out absolutely perfectly, just sitting in there like that. And this cable here is not attached. This is for actually recharging this. And I do that in the hotel at night. Everything gets plugged into this bank here, which is a really sweet, what is it, a 10-port? 10-port USB power hub. This is not a USB hub, it's just a power hub. So it's for recharging a buttload of stuff all at once. And yes, this is normally completely filled. I've got a little table in my office where all of this and more is basically sitting in a recharge station. So this and its power cord right here goes in the hotel bag, and then anything that needs to be recharged overnight goes in that. Mainly just the big power bank, but this will be where the phone plugs in, or the GoPro remote, anything that has a longer charge. The Cena unit, that'll go in every night, that kind of stuff. So I don't use all 10 at night, but I do here at the house. I have a high speed or super speed USB 3 card reader, and this is just for connecting to the Chromebook to dump my GoPro and camera cards just to do daily backups. Again, being a professional photographer, backups are just normal routine. So that's it. I want 2 copies of everything every day, just in case. You never know. The camera could be stolen, it could break, the card could wipe, who knows. You always want 2 copies of everything at any given time, so every night everything gets backed up. It's no big deal. It takes a couple minutes on a nice USB 3 card reader. Going to that external drive, of course, because the Chromebook doesn't have any more than 16 gigs of internal storage. And let's see, what else? I think that battery goes in there. What else? I was going to bring an extra mic, but I don't think I'm going to be doing any kind of interviews. This is great for run and gun videography. I use this a lot on this GH3 or my Canon bodies, but I'm going to leave this at home. That's typically for more professional work, and that should do it. Got a lot of space this time. Not taking the big box of bars like I did last time. Pretty slim. Plenty of room in there too. Alright, well, I'm going to try to get some sleep. See you in the morning. Okay, time to hit the road. I'm fueled up, bike's fueled up. I have a long, boring, probably 9 or 10 hour ride, straight up 75, past Atlanta, and then cutting over a bit, just into South Carolina to Walhalla. So there's not going to be anything to show, and I will pick it up when I get up there. Stay tuned. Hey guys, I hope you can hear me. I'm about 30 miles out of my destination, Walhalla, South Carolina, still into Georgia here, and found out my Cena 20S streams music for exactly 8.5 hours before going dead. So I need to plug it in here. I'm going to plug it into my battery pack and juice it up so I can do a clip as I'm getting to the hotel. Want to check it out and, you know, show the arrival. So I'll plug this in here, and I'm going to get some gas right across the street there. And then about 5 miles out or so, I'll stop and reattach it here. Another interesting note, I stopped for gas somewhere around Macon, Georgia, and had a problem with the bike. I started it back up, and everything was fine, except I didn't have a gear shift indicator. It's kind of weird. Most of that display blanks out when you get really low on fuel, but not the gear shift indicator. So I thought, well, maybe I'm stuck between first and neutral or something weird. I'd never seen it not display though. No, I was in first. It was shifting fine. It just wasn't displaying first. And then it would come on a little sporadically, a little intermittently. Neutral and all the other gears showed just fine. So rode on down the road a little bit, stopped, tried it again, it was fine, okay. Rode a little bit, stopped the next time, nothing. Wouldn't even work intermittently. Well, I stopped this time, and it's back on. So, I don't know, maybe there's a weird switch that needs to be cleaned or replaced. I'm not sure. I don't know exactly where that switch is on the bike. And it's nothing mechanical, it's nothing to do with the engine or transmission, because that indicator works with the bike off. So it's a purely sensor issue somewhere, and it's only with first gear, so it's something isolated with that. It's not going to be the ECU or the display itself. I don't know. I'll have to check into it if it starts doing again. The only other weird thing was it started happening right when the fuel display got low, and it blanked that out. And it just hit that point again, so I've got about 45 miles left in the tank, and now it's working again. So maybe it was just a fluke thing, and I just happened to turn it on at the right moment when I don't know. So I'll see if it sticks around, but I gotta juice this guy up, juice the bike up, right on down about 25 more miles, and then I'll be there. It's about 2:15 in the afternoon right now, and I'm beat because I didn't actually sleep last night. So kind of tired. I'm going on one of these, and I shouldn't be drinking these anymore, but I needed it. I really did. Coming into Walhalla now. Just hit the city limits. Beautiful day. Tell you what, I timed it perfectly. I've got 1.3 miles to go. I want to get here right at 3. That's check-in time. It's 2:52. Not bad for leaving the house at what I leave about 5 o'clock in the morning. I was on the road after breakfast by about 5:20. So I allowed time for fuel stops and one quick stop at Denny's for lunch. Okay, so it's a little sketchy. You got basically the Bates house there and these little side rooms. This is it. It's not like a chain or anything. It's a proper motel, you know? It's old school. And this is the only option out here. So if you don't like it, tough. Here's the room. Now it's a lot brighter on camera than it actually is, because I want you to actually see it. It's pretty dark. The only light in here, oh wait, there's one right there. It didn't make a bit of difference. They're tiny little fluorescent bulbs. You can see the bulbs, but you don't see any light from them. This is the only light in the room. I got the curtain open, obviously. That's really what's lighting the room. So we got your old Jimmy lock, deadbolt, AC, which I don't actually need. It's really comfortable in here. It's about 71 degrees. 2 nice queen beds. Haven't sat on it yet. Let's see here. Wow, super soft. Oh, wow. Yeah, I like a firm bed, but if you love a soft one, you'll love these. Just almost like a waterbed, fall into it. You got an old chair, a little table here. The only outlet that I can see, so this is where I'll set my stuff up. Another chair, another table, but no outlets. A really cheap Kmart Scepter or Walmart Scepter TV. You have a little microwave. a decent sized fridge, which I can't. Okay, I did turn it on. It was set on 1. I cranked it down to 7, so it's starting to go. A little single cup coffee maker, and it's really dark back here in the bathroom too. Again, just a one tiny little light, a little bit of closet space. I'm expecting to see like a peephole. Well, that's not a door or anything. I don't know. That's probably a hot water tank. Weird looking cutout there. And then decent sink and real basic bathroom. You got like a magic marker covered window there and a little tiny fan and light. It barely lights the place up. Again, it's double bright what you see on camera from what it really is. There's the tub. That's not dirt down there. That's like sticky residue from a anti-slip mat. It looks clean enough. I don't see any grunge or anything. Real basic. Everything looks good. And let's see, what was this room? This room cost. Now this was a last minute booking through Expedia, $64.02. So we can't really complain about that. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at this map real quick and see if I can show you guys where I'm gonna go at least tomorrow. Okay, well the map they give us just covers this area. It doesn't cover any of where I'm gonna go, but I've got another one to show you. So here's where I am. This is the corner of where South Carolina meets Georgia and North Carolina. So I came in right down here, right in the tip of the corner, came up or across 85 and then up 11. And that takes you, bam, right here where I am, pretty much at the corner of Main Street. Now from here, I'm taking 28. It starts right here, right outside the hotel. That's why this is the place to be. So you just hop on 28, and it's 107 miles, crosses through Georgia, and then crosses into North Carolina, and ends at the start of the Tail of the Dragon, right at Deals Gap. I'll show you that now. So here's my plan. You can see this is basically right here is where I just showed you on the map. This corner of the blue is South Carolina, pink is Georgia, and the tan is North Carolina. We're right here down in Walhalla, that little tiny circle, and 28 runs right up here, and then it crosses just a little bit over Georgia and then into North Carolina and continues on all through here, and once you get up to about here, they're into nice foothills. And it keeps going all the way and ends right up here at the start of the Tail of the Dragon. And what I plan on doing is this route, nice and slow and taking a whole bunch of pictures. This is going to be a lot of my day tomorrow. Just, hey now. What the heck was that? I think I just got an update or something. My Chromebook just spontaneously rebooted. Stand by. Well, that was kind of weird, but whatever. Anyway, I'm going to be spending most of my day tomorrow all on this Moonshiners 28 run and, just hanging out. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff to see and do once I really get up into this area. This is where it gets really hilly. I'm staying right somewhere in here in Robbinsville at a really nice looking kind of like cabin resort. It's not a hotel or a commercial place. It looks really awesome, and the architecture looks really neat, and that's where I plan on doing some cigar videos and stuff too. But that'll be a really nice place to hang out. There is the main motorcycle place right in Deals Gap, but man, it sells out way ahead of time, and I just couldn't book it ahead of time in order to get a room because I wasn't, like I said, sure I was going to go on this trip. But I did book the last room at this place here. Now once you get around here, there's 3 or 4 main places for motorcyclists to stay, all within probably a half an hour ride. Now, these are all mountain roads and stuff, so even though it's 7 or 10 miles from Deals Gap, that might be 30 or 45 minutes of a ride, which is okay. But I got one of the closest ones, and they get expensive. All right, down here I'm paying $64. Up here I'm paying 160. So, and the reason I got this one over another one was because the other one didn't even have internet, and frankly, Wi-Fi is a must for me. So, I got the one that had Wi-Fi. So, once I get up here, I'm gonna hang out and find my room and everything tomorrow, and then the day after, I'm gonna be spending it doing the Tail of the Dragon, which goes from here. Where does it go? I don't think they show much detail. Basically, I'm going to be doing a loop of the Tail of the Dragon and then back on the Cherohala Skyway, and probably do it a couple times because I've got the whole day just for these two roads right here, just playing on the roads and taking pictures. All right, a whole freaking day. So I'm just going to have fun right in here, and then I'm going to stay that night in Asheville, and the Blue Ridge is this blue line right here. It starts in Cherokee. I love Cherokee, by the way. If you're into camping, there's two places I've really enjoyed camping. One is Smokey Mountains, which is right dab center in the middle of the great Smokey Mountains National Park, right at the top peak. That sells out or books very early, by the way. And a campground, believe it or not, called Jellystone, Yogi Bear in Cherokee. I mean, fantastic little camp plots right on a huge river. I mean, really, really nice to camp at. They have everything from rustic to little cabins you can rent, all sorts of stuff, and very reasonable. But the Blue Ridge starts right here, so I'll be spending my last day doing the southern part of the Blue Ridge, which should be beautiful, and then hanging out in Asheville, going to the Biltmore, and I'll probably head back mid-afternoon or late afternoon, and I don't know, stay somewhere just along the freeway, just into Georgia maybe. Depends on how tired I am. I don't plan on riding all the way back home, but I may. We'll have to see. It just depends. I'm pretty much playing it by ear, but that is my loose plan, and I've just got these two hotels booked and paid for. I'll just catch something like a Super 8 again in Nashville. That worked out great. That's the plan, man. So I'm going to finish unpacking. I got stuff charging already. And I'm beat. I may look for something to eat, but I don't know. I'm just going to crash right now. See you in the morning, guys.